fantastic regular season that just has a huge question mark at the end of it, which we love. Jamie Manti, Kyle, and Seth Rollins in New York City. Kyle, Manti was just saying to me, he's like, did you see Aaron Rodgers on that touchdown pass, the double look, the side eye, if you will, looked everybody off. Kyle, if you missed it last night, boy, do we have a doozy for you. Please do what you do best.
Let's do it, because we got all our playoff teams. We'll talk about the NFC in a second, but we had one question to figure out in the AFC, Steelers, Ravens. Seth, I think you need to start doing holy water in the ring before your matches. Why not? Right?
Oh, man.
Steelers do it.
That wouldn't work for me.
Maybe not. But will it work for that guy? This old dude versus the two-time MVP. Back and forth first half, low score. We're going to start right in the fourth quarter, 13-10 Pittsburgh. Lamar gets out of the sack and just flicks it to Zay Flowers. This is a first in a set of two. Long touchdowns for Baltimore, so it looks like Rodgers is going to be sent to the offseason, Seth.
That's it. I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. What an escape by Lamar. A magician. Flicks it 50 yards downfield. Flowers. Boom.
All right, but we're just getting warmed up. That's when we start in the fourth quarter of a highlight, you know there's a lot of action coming. 3rd and 8. Rodgers, it was really tough sledding on offense, but he finds Freiermuth inside the 10, down to the 5. Pat Freiermuth gets the cheer from the crowd. Rodgers had 2 or 3 throws last night that were still like, damn, he still's got it. It was like Nolan Ryan. He was just flicking the wrist for a fireball. And then a couple of plays later, Kenny Gainwell, Super Bowl champ with the Eagles. Steelers MVP this year on their team as voted by the players. Now Pittsburgh takes the lead. So maybe Rodgers is going to the playoffs. Tomlin's going to do it and get the AFC North. But wait, still 3:43 left. Lamar on a 3rd and 1. Collinsworth's going, they did it again. He's saying in the middle of the play, it's Zay Flowers again, Seth. How does it happen?
Dude, I don't know how it happened. He got so open, it was insane. I've never seen a more open wide receiver in my life off of a guy who just did it the drive before.
3rd and 10 now. Rodgers with 1 minute left, down 4, need a touchdown. He goes to Calvin Austin III, who's just as open as Flowers was. Chidobe Awuzie is a great player. He had a good night. But you see this, he just slips on that turf. That's natural turf. That's frozen turf. And Calvin Austin III, 26-yard touchdown. We're not even close to being done. Because Chris Boswell has made 80-plus point afters in a row. 80-plus. He was 42 on 42 this year. And it's just a dead hook. But wait, hold on. Lamar, 21 seconds, 4th and 7. 4th and the season. Look at T.J. Watt from above is coming to sack him. Lamar throws it to Isaiah Likely, who's always in the middle of every big play for the Ravens. They move the chains. Pittsburgh's going to lose. They're going to empty out that stadium. It's going to be over because Likely makes the catch. He's fired up, and he should be. You don't get a bigger catch than that. Rodgers, is he going to retire now? Here he is. Tyler Loop, 24-year-old rookie kicker with a dead push right in the same end zone where they put the holy water, and there's a John 3:16 sign. As God a Steelers fan he was in this moment. You don't see a bigger missed kick in the professional level than this. He makes it. The Ravens go to the playoffs. He misses it. The Ravens go home. He misses it. Look at Lamar. He did everything he could in the fourth quarter. Rodgers gets to play another game. We're going to talk about all of this. That was one of the greatest quarters you will ever see between Steelers and Ravens. Mike Tomlin physically beating his chest. 10-7, not 9-8. The Steelers are AFC North champs. The Ravens are into the offseason at sub-500. Afterwards, we're going to hear from John Harbaugh and let's just call it a memorable answer from Mike Tomlin.
Ooh, man. It's another one in the history of this series, man. It's an honor to be a part of this rivalry with that group. They fought and fought and fought, not only tonight, but throughout the entire journey. And so we move forward. And we're AFC North champions. And that sounds good and it feels good.
I mean, how can you put into words just the thin line between if they make that kick, season's over, comes to a screeching halt, and missing that kick and the winner going on?
You know how it is. If my aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle.
It's the chunk plays that have gotten us, you know, and they came up again in this game, and it's really disappointing. It's not something that should happen as much as it did. I mean, they give up some chunk plays too in the back end, so it's football and it happens, but we don't want that to happen.
Knowing what Mike Tomlin said in that answer, watching Kyle and Seth crack up as he delivered that line, well done, Tomlin. On a day where we are talking about a lot of things in the NFL, it was a legendary answer. Appreciate it from you. Kyle's still shaking his head about it. Guys, we got to talk about that. If you had pressed pause, if you had fallen asleep in the final 10 minutes of that game, ridiculous. We got the highlight for you. We have all the answers. Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, they defeat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and yet, as the coach has said, another epic AFC North matchup. Steelers, they move on, though. Guys, what stood out to you in this classic finale to 272, Manti?
Well, when I was listening and watching the game, you could hear Collinsworth throughout the entire game talk about Aaron Rodgers and how he's been meeting with his players and his teammates on Tuesdays after practice, Wednesdays after practice. And then I go to that last play where you're seeing the view of Aaron Rodgers just surveying the defense, and he looks towards Calvin Austin's side, and he does this double take. He kind of double looks as if he's like, are you really going to leave this guy open? Guys, Calvin Austin had 3 catches for 55 yards, 26 of which came on this one play. So you can't tell me that this was one of those plays that they threw on Tuesday night and say, hey, Calvin, if ever you're in this situation, the ball is going to you. It goes to the brilliance of Aaron Rodgers, understanding that he's seen every defense, he's seen every front, he's seen every player, their mannerisms and all of that. And they showed it a little bit in a highlight of Aaron Rodgers just looking to his left, and then he kind of gives that double take. And it's that kind of thing you don't want to do when your wife's around you you don't do that. And don't do that to Aaron Rodgers when you have a defense that's going to be able, that he's going to be able to exploit that way. So, Seth, I thought it was brilliant on Aaron Rodgers' part, on all his teammates' part, and they came up big in the end.
Oh, guys, I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I got to give credit where it's due.
Do it.
Rodgers showed out. He did. He showed out. I mean, he made it pains me. It pains me. But he made some amazing throws. He made some incredible throws. It looked like, in some moments, flashbacks to the old Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers we saw in Green Bay. I mean, you felt that magic coming out of his hands. And he was, there were some classic moments where his headset wasn't working at the end of the game. They're wasting timeouts. You thought it was all going to fall apart for Pittsburgh. And then he just willed them into playoff contention, to win the AFC North. It was an incredible thing. From start to finish, though, everybody on both sides, they put everything they had into this game. It was incredible to watch. I mean, my MVP from this game was Cam Hayward.
It was awesome.
Cam Hayward was unreal through this game. And they talked about it throughout the broadcast. Rico and Collinsworth did. They said, Cam Hayward, they saw him sitting on the sideline for at least 15 minutes with his eyes closed, just focused. He said he wanted to go in and lay it all on the line. I mean, he is one of the elite interior linemen in the NFL, has been for some time. But, I mean, he was making plays. He was jumping out batting balls. He was tush-pushing. He was doing everything he could to push this game forward. I mean, it was an incredible game from start to finish. The fact that it came down to 2 missed kicks, Kyle, what a game.
And Cam Hayward's going to come up later in our game ball segment. The Aaron Rodgers, it was like I was watching a Kevin Costner movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? This old guy, one last miracle in his pocket. But if you're just seeing this highlight, we showed it to you exclusively from the fourth quarter. There was a lot of things that happened earlier in this game that should not have led to Pittsburgh winning. Specifically, the end of the first half was a nightmare for the Steelers. If you did not see this play, they get down all the way to the goal line, and they're really slow going on offense. They go for it with 2 seconds left and get stuffed. This is the last play of the first half. They could have kicked. They said, screw it. It's from the 1-yard line because there was a penalty. Let's go for it. All the momentum, 100% of the momentum was in Baltimore. This felt like the end of the Steelers' season. This could have been the end of Rodgers' career. This could have been the end of Tomlin. Horrible, horrible end of the first half. I can't believe they came back to win. By the way, Derrick Henry's running wild in the first half. It is all Baltimore. The score was relatively close, but everything in the visibility in the game is Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore. A couple things happened. Rodgers made like 3 or 4 crazy throws that could have been from 2015, and kickers will be kickers. This is why you make fun of kickers, you make jokes about kickers, and then we get to January, and it's like, you better have a damn kicker. Unbelievable. The Boswell miss, nuts. And then this Tyler Loop is like, he's an infamous figure in Baltimore now, and I hate it, and he's 24 years old, and he's a rookie. But the fact that Mike Tirico on the call gets this beautiful job setting up that they move past Justin Tucker, the most accurate kicker in NFL history, and John Harbaugh goes around the country scouting and talking about the mental makeup of these kickers, and they think Tyler Loop is made for this moment, and they roll this, and he misses it by 15 feet. Just wild theater, real tragedy for Baltimore stuff, but everyone wants to make jokes about kickers until it's time to come in and go to the playoffs, and then this happens. it was an all-time classic quarter. I don't know if it was an all-time classic game between these two. The fourth quarter was beautiful. And now what happens? Now Pittsburgh is at home next weekend against Houston, in which their 42-year-old quarterback will go against the Houston pass rush that we'll talk about all week. But classic all-time quarter. A lot of questions now about Lamar, certainly about John Harbaugh, and about the fact that that roster went 8-9 and missed the playoffs is a real tragedy. Pittsburgh wins somehow. Miraculous ending, Jamie.
Well, Kyle, to bring it back to the first point you made, as somebody who was in the same cabin of an international flight with Kevin Costner within the last year, just like Rodgers, the guy still got it despite age, all right? So that works for Rodgers. It works for Kevin Costner.